Imagine a city gripped by fear, the whispers circulating through parlors and newspapers. It's 1841, New York City, and the dazzling Mary Rogers has vanished. The set maker's daughter, known for her charm and beauty behind the counter of a tobacco shop, and her disappearance ignites a spark of terror. Mary Cecilia Rogers, the beautiful cigar girl, was more than just a pretty face. She embodied a new kind of urban fascination, a woman navigating the growing social and economic complexities of a booming metropolis. Her mysterious absence would soon become a national obsession, fueling speculation and paranoia. On July 25, 1841, Mary told her mother she was going to visit an aunt. She left and was never seen alive again. The city began asking, where is she? Was she kidnapped? Did she run away? Or was there a far more sinister possibility at play? Days turned into weeks with no sign of Mary. The newspapers, hungry for a scoop, ran wild with theories, some bordering on the absurd. The public, captivated by the drama, became amateur detectives, dissecting every rumor and whisper. Then, on July 28th, just 3 days after her disappearance, a group of men stumbled upon a body floating in the Hudson River near Hoboken, New Jersey. The body was bloated and decomposing, but some articles of clothing were still intact. News spread like wildfire. A body had been found. Could this be Mary? Was this the tragic end to the beautiful cigar girl story? The city held its breath as officials attempted to identify the corpse. The clothing found on the body matched descriptions of what Mary was wearing when she disappeared. Her mother, upon viewing the remains, confirmed the heartbreaking truth. It was her daughter, Mary Rogers. The city erupted in outrage. Mary's death was no accident. It was a brutal murder. The question wasn't just where was she, but who did this and why. Initial investigations focused on suicide as a possible cause, but the condition of Mary's body suggested otherwise. There were signs of a struggle, evidence of violence. This was no simple drowning. The press continued to fuel the flames of public outrage. Edgar Allan Poe, then a rising literary star in New York, was fascinated by the case. He would later use it as inspiration for his short story, The Mystery of Marie Roget. Poe's fictionalized account mirrored the real-life details of Mary's death, but offered a different, darker interpretation of the events. He even claimed to have solved the case through deduction, accusing a naval officer of the crime. However, there was no evidence. But the true killer of Mary Rogers remained at large. As the weeks turned into months, the investigation stalled. Witnesses contradicted each other. Evidence vanished. And the case grew colder, leaving a city haunted by a beauty's vanishing. The police investigation, hampered by the limitations of 19th century forensic science, struggled to gain traction. Suspicion fell on a number of individuals, each with their own dark secrets and questionable alibis. Among the first suspects was Daniel Payne, Mary's fiancé. He was described as a volatile and jealous man, prone to fits of rage. He initially was a major suspect, but was then removed after the coroner's investigation. Another figure who drew attention was Alfred Crommelin, a wealthy gentleman known to frequent the tobacco shop where Mary worked. Rumors swirled about a secret affair between them, a liaison that could have ended in tragedy. Adding to the confusion were the conflicting accounts of witnesses. Some claimed to have seen Mary in the company of a mysterious man shortly before her death. Others insisted she was alone, distraught, and wandering aimlessly. One compelling theory emerged from a local woman named Mrs. Loss, who ran a roadhouse near the site where Mary's body was discovered. She claimed Mary died after a botched abortion performed in her home. Mrs. Law's son also testified, but he committed suicide shortly after his testimony. Did he commit suicide because he knew too much? Did he kill Mary himself and then cover it up? This theory was supported by the presence of certain items found near Mary's body: a partially torn petticoat and a blood-stained shawl. These items seem to indicate a struggle, possibly related to a clandestine medical procedure. The abortion theory gained traction in some circles, but it was met with resistance from those who believed Mary was a victim of a more sinister plot, perhaps involving a gang of criminals or a jealous lover. Despite the various suspects and theories, the police were unable to gather enough concrete evidence to make an arrest. The case remained open, a source of endless speculation and debate. Even Edgar Allan Poe, in his fictionalized account, struggled to provide a definitive answer. His story offered clues and insights, but ultimately left the reader with a sense of lingering uncertainty. The lack of closure in the Mary Rogers case had a profound impact on the city. It exposed the dark underbelly of New York, the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface of its bustling streets. The case remained cold for decades, a grim reminder of a beauty lost and a justice denied. But recently, new evidence has surfaced, reigniting interest in this century-old enigma. What does this new evidence suggest? In recent years, historians and cold case investigators have revisited the Mary Rogers case, armed with modern forensic techniques and a fresh perspective. Their findings have challenged long-held assumptions and shed new light on the mystery. One significant development has been the re-examination of the physical evidence. Using advanced DNA analysis, scientists have attempted to extract genetic material from the shawl and petticoat found near Mary's body. While the results have been inconclusive due to the age and degradation of the samples, the effort itself represents a significant step forward in the investigation. It demonstrates a commitment to pursuing every possible lead. Another area of focus has been the reevaluation of witness testimonies. By cross-referencing old police records and newspaper articles, researchers have uncovered inconsistencies and potential biases in the original accounts. For example, some historians now believe that Mrs. Loss, the roadhouse owner, may have been more involved in Mary's death than she initially admitted. Her story may have been a carefully constructed cover-up to protect herself and others. Furthermore, newly discovered letters suggest that Daniel Payne, Mary's fiancé, may have had connections to organized crime. This raises the possibility that Mary's death was not a crime of passion, but a calculated hit. Perhaps Mary Rogers got caught up in her fiancé's bad dealings. Did she know too much? Did she say too much? Or was she simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? These new lines of inquiry have led some investigators to believe that Mary's death was the result of a conspiracy involving multiple individuals with their own motives and agendas. While a definitive answer remains elusive, the renewed interest in the Mary Rogers case has brought us closer than ever to understanding the truth. The pieces of the puzzle are slowly falling into place, revealing a more complex and disturbing picture. Even if the true killer is never definitively identified, the story of Mary Rogers serves as a reminder of the enduring power of unsolved mysteries and the importance of seeking justice, even after centuries have passed. The mystery of Mary Rogers continues to haunt the collective memory of New York City. And as science progresses, the hope remains that one day, the secret surrounding her death will finally be revealed. Will we ever know the full truth about what happened to the beautiful cigar girl? Or will her story remain forever etched in history as one of New York's most enduring and perplexing unsolved mysteries?